Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care has been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Our expert technicians can accurately diagnose all your car care needs. We'll fix it right and back it with our nationwide warranty at over 600 Amco centers. And if cash is tight, we have up to 12 months of no-interest financing and easy payment plans, even if your credit is less than perfect. Call 1-800-GO-AMCO for the location near you. That's AAMCO. Transmissions and a whole lot more.
Tougher than cancer, smarter than heart disease, stronger than Crohn's disease. The University of Chicago Medicine is a leading community of physicians, researchers, and game changers. Using the most advanced treatment options available today, their team of experts embrace challenges to make a difference in your life. Visit usechicagomedicine.org to schedule a video or in-person visit at a location near you. Sickness is relentless, and so is the University of Chicago Medicine.
Safid Deen, NFL insider for USA Today Sports Plus. Covered the Dolphins for several years down here with the Sun Sentinel, and surprisingly, he's still our friend. Most people, when they move on, they forget us. Yeah. We were told by Cam Wolfe to forget his number.
Cam be on TV. Safid be on. Yeah, Safid was down here a couple of years. He left us.
I know. Safid Deen. Hello, Safid.
I'll never leave you guys. Man. You know what's my favorite part about you guys playing Pitbull just now? That's exactly how the Canes played last night, man.
Culo.
Had a chance to win it
Did
late.
you watch much of the Canes game, or were you too busy looking at Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence? I
was too busy looking at Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, man. I'm sorry. I could not. The first half did not go Miami's way at all. It hasn't gone at all this season, really.
That is true.
And then I turned over to the last 2 minutes, and I see, Manny Diaz congratulating some players on the side, or some congrats being shared by the Miami sideline with 2 minutes left in that game, being really, really reserved in that last 2 minutes, and then doink.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had some friends in a group chat tell me that as soon as you guys started talking about the Canes, they changed the channel, man. So let's talk about something
they don't want to
positive.
hear about it today. They just don't want to hear about it.
So depressing, man.
Yeah.
How could you lose that bad? They dropped the football before you got into the goal line.
You ever heard birds? There's birds.
Safid living good now, man. Man got that check.
Where you living?
Birds out in his
corner?
backyard.
You got birds.
Listen, I'm standing outside. The rain stopped for a little bit. Some birds are chirping. Just trying to get some fresh air while I talk to you guys.
It does feel good, doesn't it, when you hear the birds chirping in the background? I was totally entranced by the birds in the background. It's very nice. That's really nice. What I didn't watch much of the Jacksonville-Cincinnati game yesterday. How'd Trevor Lawrence look, and what do you think about Urban Meyer? Is he about at wit's end?
I've actually seen the Jaguars play 2 weeks in a row now. I don't know if you guys want to apologize. I should apologize.
You should apologize. Your bosses should apologize to you for making you do that.
You guys should feel bad for me, right? But look, the Cardinals. They played the Cardinals last week, right? And they had about a 19-10 lead in the third quarter in that game. And then this Thursday night game against the Bengals, they had a 14-0 lead right before the half. They tried to score a touchdown. They got stopped on 4th and 1 on a shotgun snap at the goal line. Love those. But the Jaguars, they seem to be knocking on the door. The Jaguars are knocking on the door. They're not ready to win. They honestly, man, that Dolphins game in London could be their best shot to win a game, because I think they play the Titans next week. But Jaguars are knocking on the door. That team has a lot of good young players. They drafted really well before Urban Meyer got there. And Joe Burrow, I'm surprised he got as healthy as he did, as soon as he did after that ACL tear last year. He's back to 100%. Jamar Chase is a great weapon for him, and the Bengals seem to be rolling too.
And Safid, we talk about. I was gonna say we talk about the young quarterbacks like the Trevor Lawrence. I think he looks terrible now. He has 7 interceptions through 3 games. He's setting bad records. But my whole thing is he'll figure it out. Or even with Josh Allen figured it out. This guy will figure it out. What about Urban Meyer? What about a coach? Do you say this coach will figure it out? He's a grown-ass man. He's coached for 30 years. Will Urban figure it out?
My favorite thing about watching Urban Meyer coach is when he's standing on the sidelines and he's just looking on the play and his hands are on his knees, getting old, his back is hurting, he's hunched over, looking for any kind of leverage because he has to stand on the sideline all game. I feel sorry for him when I see him with his hands on his knees like that, but the Jaguars are really knocking on the door, Crowder. I know a lot of people want to clown the Jaguars. They have lost 19 in a row dating back to last year. They won the opener last year, lost every game since. But, Lawrence is too good. Urban is too good of a coach. And this team is really loaded. The Jaguars team, they're really loaded. They drafted really well. You guys got Josh Allen, DN for them. Miles Jack is still playing really well for them defensively. And, look, James Robinson has been a really good find for them as a running back. Chenault is Lawrence's best receiving target right now. He seems to be the most reliable one, too. So I think Jacksonville knocks on the door for a win pretty soon here.
It'd be great if Urban Meyer brought a chair out on the sideline to sit there during the game. I can't have my hands on my knees all game long. I need a chair. Safid Deen is with us. Let's look at the Dolphins game this Sunday. Dolphins offense, and you want to talk about setting records, like Jalen Waddle set a record with the number of receptions for the amount of yards that it actually produced. But the Dolphins offense has struggled mightily the last couple of games. Is this anything more than an offensive line issue, or does it begin and end with offensive line?
Oh, no. This is a very, very deep issue. This is an issue that's plagued the Dolphins for the past 3 seasons. And this is Brian Flores being on his third set of offensive coordinators. These are, 2 offensive coordinators who George Gatti has some play calling experience, but probably about 10 years ago maybe. Even more than that, I would say. So you have a lot of guys on this coaching staff, Brian Flores' staff, who are first-year, second-year coaches, including the O-line coach who's a first-year coach. The offensive coaching staff is very, very inexperienced. It's not probably a unit that you would want to have when you're trying to groom a young quarterback like Tua Tagovailoa. So that's probably my deepest issue that's at the forefront of it. Yeah, the O-line has some struggles. Maybe that's on the coaching. Maybe that's on the players. A little bit, it's got to give or take here and there. But I was actually really impressed with how the Dolphins, tried to close out the game last week in Las Vegas. Jacoby Brissett probably had the best drive of his life before, at the end of the fourth quarter. And then for the Dolphins to get a 4th and 9, for them to get a 4th and 20 in OT, then to convert that, then you got the Fuller call, which they, that was badly missed. That was a really bad pass interference call that was not called for the Dolphins. And then, the next play after that, pretty much they're on 3rd and 3. They have an inside toss to Gesicki, and they're not really fooling anybody. Dolphins don't really have a good O-line. They don't have a good run game because of the O-line, and then they keep pounding the football like they have a good O-line to run behind. It's really not a great recipe for success when you have to pass the football. And this game against the Colts this week, it's going to be a grind-out game. The Colts aren't that great either, so I'm expecting a low-scoring game for sure. Take the under on this one, Hawk.
All right, I'm in. You don't have to tell me twice.
and Safi, what do you think? Because I got a little upset, but, clarify it for me. I think Studesville, he said that we want to go deeper, we want to stretch the field, but the defense isn't letting us. Isn't that your job to find a way to go where the defense doesn't want you to go? I thought that was the chess match of football.
I was frustrated last season when, Lynn Bowden Jr. is catching passes less than 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. And the same thing with Jalen Waddle, like you said, having all these passes, but 60 yards, 70 yards maybe in that game. Look, Jalen Waddle is the key to all of this here. If I'm the Dolphins offense, I'm feeding him the rock. I'm putting him all over the field. He's going to be at the X. He's going to be at the Y. He's going to be in the slot. I'm moving him around. I'm trying to get him the ball, force-feeding Jalen Waddle the ball, okay? This is your fastest player in the team. He's probably the most explosive playmaker that you have. If you feed him the rock on the outside, some passes on the inside, crossing routes over the middle, there's no reason why you can't be able to move the ball with him getting a couple good plays, and then you sort of sprinkle in a couple with Gesicki, sprinkle in a couple passes to Devontae Parker, get Myles Gaskin and Salvon Ahmed to run the football or get some passes out the backfield. I think Waddle's a real good X factor here, but I don't think the Dolphins know really, how to use him yet. It's like if you got a brand new Lamborghini in your garage, but you've been driving a Camry your whole life. You're not ready to punch that gas yet. And I think they need to feed Waddle a little bit more and then work on everybody else on the outside.
Safid Deen from USA Today Sports Plus. Canes fans, I know you said your friends tuned out when we started talking Canes, so I'm not going to talk Canes here, but Canes fans, a lot of them on social media or on the text line, they are done with Manny Diaz. They are done with Blake James. Some Dolphins fans, we're starting to see it now, I'm imagining you are as well, are reaching an inflection point with Chris Greer, and then some are even talking about Brian Flores. Now, where do you stand on Dolphins brass? Where do you stand on Chris Greer and Brian Flores?
Well, look, Tua going down week 2 is obviously not great for what the franchise wanted to do in this year 3 of them being together, Greer and Flores. It's not the ideal start to the third year of a rebuilding process, or the next stage of what the rebuilding process is supposed to be for the Dolphins. But, if I'm Greer and I'm Flores and these losses start to pile up early this season, you know how you turn on a gas stove and it's got to click a couple times, click, 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 and then the fire comes on. I think we're in that click, click, click stage right now for the Dolphins, for Brian Flores and Chris Greer. It's not hot seat time yet. It might be time to start turning on the stove. The fire is not getting there yet, but look, this is a layer of issues going on with this team, and it's a reason why they haven't taken the next step. Tua being injured is not ideal. This coaching staff being very inexperienced all around is not ideal either. Not having an offensive coordinator in place, for Tua's first 2 seasons, not ideal. And then the best part about this team is the defense. The defense is still playing really, really well. It's hard to argue, it's hard to play offense when you're being guarded by Xavier Howard and Byron Jones outside, Jerome Baker running all over the field as well. The defense is really keeping this team together. It's keeping this team in games. I expect them to do that against the Colts this year. And for as long as the season kind of, holds on, it's just going to get to a point where the defense starts seeing the offense is not moving the ball enough or not scoring enough points. And then they're going to break more than bend a little bit more than usual.
And talking about Chris Greer, just looking at it, Safid, let's go back to 16. First-round pick Tunsil, gone. 17, Charles Harris, gone. 18, Minka Fitzpatrick, gone. 19 is Christian Wilkins, who's playing well, made some plays last week. But 2020, Tua, he's out. Austin Jackson is struggling, and Noah Igbenogany is not even dressing for some games. I think the criticism of the draft, you can start saying, is legit.
Yeah, I would say so too. I mean, you're 2 years in, you're looking at your 3 first-round picks, and do you even know if you hit on any of them? Can't even say that about Tua. And the thing is, if they hit on Tua, the other 2 would have been okay if they didn't, Yeah. I think with Austin Jackson, it was a player that he was the 5th offensive tackle off the board. It was a reach in the first round of that draft. He was coming off of a year after, donating bone marrow to his sister, an incredible act by him. But it affected how he played as a senior in USC. And this season, he starts the season with COVID. So you don't know how bad of an effect that had on him. But some early signs are not returning right now for Austin Jackson. He's going to get it together. He has to improve. He has to play well, and I think he could do that. And Noah Igbenogany, it's tough, man, because you draft him because you didn't know how healthy Xavier Howard was, right? And then Xavier Howard, sure enough, becomes healthy. He plays all 16 last year, leads the league in interceptions, and now your second cornerback is not your big problem. They also signed Byron Jones as well. So I feel like if Xavier or Byron Jones has an injury coming up this year, knock on wood, you hope that doesn't be the case. But that's really the only way you're going to get Noah Igbenogany on the field. You're not going to put him in front of those 2 guys. And maybe he's not better suited to play the slot or any other position on defense. At least get him on the field for special teams. That's what they did last week. They couldn't even do that week 1 and week 2. But I see the reason why they drafted Noah Igbenogany, and I even think he was a reach in the first round. Great kid, great talent, but he needs to be cultivated. And this Dolphins team, when you take young players that need to be coached up and need to be cultivated, you have to have coaching that's great as well. And like I mentioned, too, first-year, second-year coaches, Brian Flores has a lot of faith in his coaching staff. Granted, every coach is going to have faith in their coaching staff. Some more than others, some more warranted than others. But when you have developmental players that need developing and you have coaches that need developing as well, it could be everybody developing together or early struggles together. And that's kind of what we're seeing here with this Dolphins team, especially with Austin Jackson, especially with Noah Igbenogany.
Safid Dean, NFL insider for USA Today Sports Plus. Thank you, Safid, for making time for us. Thank you for doing the interview with birds in the background, and thank you for remaining our friends as you continue your ascension up the ranks in the national world of football media.
I can't wait to move up further so I could tell you guys to delete my number, man.
I thought he was going to say he's going to get us a job or something. But
nothing.
That was one way to
leave
go.
us in the dust, pretend like he...
Listen, Crowder. The last thing Crowder needs is another job.
Oh, my God.
Jack.
This guy, more jobs than Steve Harvey.
So y'all use the term too much money? I don't use that term, Safed. I don't think it makes sense.
All right.
Listen, man. Is Brandon Marshall hiring? Me and Hodges got it too, man.
Text me. We'll see what happens.
I am Safed. Safed Dean. Thanks, Safed.
Have a good one, guys.
I'm Erin Ryan, political commentator, comedy writer, and host of Crooked Media's Hysteria.
And I'm co-host Alyssa Mastromonaco, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff for President Obama.
Each week on Hysteria, we are joined by a team of hilariously opinionated ladies to discuss the headlines from the serious to the absurd.
We cover everything from reproductive rights to rom-coms and break down the political news of the week and cultural stories that affect women's lives.
New episodes of Hysteria drop every Thursday. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care has been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Our expert technicians can accurately diagnose all your car care needs. We'll fix it right and back it with our nationwide warranty at over 600 Amco centers. And if cash is tight, we have up to 12 months of no interest financing and easy payment plans, even if your credit is less than perfect. Call 1-800-GO-AMCO for the location near you. That's AAA-MCO. Transmissions and a whole lot more.
Sweet tangle apples, apples so good they make you smile.